Welcome to Mockingbird News, where the headlines are real and the punchlines write themselves. Boris Johnson, aka Donald Trump from Timu, took aim at Vladimir Putin on livestream. Vladimir Putin, who was sitting there petting his cat and plotting world domination, suddenly heard that Boris Johnson called him a fucking idiot for the whole world to hear. He even threw an excuse my language like it was going to soften the blow. Netflix is now in talks with the former Prime Minister and party boy to make a Netflix series called Boris Johnson, Uncensored, where he roasts all of the world's dictators one by one. I would binge watch that faster than the amount of time it takes to blow up a gas pipeline in the Balkans. An influencer in Australia, and I use the term influencer lightly because they only have 17,000 followers, decided to do it for the gram and fake a wedding for clout. But here's where it gets spicy. It turns out the wedding wasn't fake at all. And it went full-blown plot twist whenever they slipped in a visa application while the bride was still trying to tag everyone in the wedding photos. But as soon as she figured out, she filed for divorce. What did this guy think was going to happen? All this was going to fly under the radar and he'd be eating shrimp on the beach watching surfers getting eaten by sharks? So now he is stuck with no wife, no visa, and probably no followers after this PR disaster. Remember, most anything can be faked on the internet, except for legally binding documents. Karen Kyllesoe, or however you say her name, a 21-year-old Norwegian, just took the Nordic walking trend to the extreme and became the youngest person ever to ski to the South Pole. This morning I made just as big of an accomplishment by walking to my desk without tripping over my 2 cats and my dog. Does anyone actually care about another rich kid crossing off a bucket list item that sounds like a James Bond villain's vacation? I mean, good for her, but the rest of us are just trying to cross groceries off our bucket list without having to sell a kidney. Karen skis to the South Pole, and I'm skiing around my budget to be able to afford eggs. I get it, she's making history by doing something that has been done by about 300 people before and 52 without the support of others with the most modern gear to date. Most of us can't even afford a trip across to the other side of town, let alone to the end of the earth. So, Karen, GG, dude. But next time, could you at least do something useful and snap some photos to disprove those annoying flat earthers? Have you ever been ripped off by a hotel because of hidden fees and wish that you could get some payback? Meet Jiang, a 21-year-old from China who took the concept of complaining about your hotel room to a whole new level. His weapons of choice: dead bugs, hair strands, and used condoms. It's like he walked into a hotel and asked himself, wow, how can I make this more like home? Jiang's plan was simple as it was disgusting. Check into a hotel room, sprinkle some pubes on the pillow, and demand compensation and move on to the next hotel. And you'd think that getting a refund or even a room upgrade a few times would have been awesome, but this guy managed to pull it off 63 fucking times. I can't even get a hotel to give me an extra bar of soap, and this guy is walking out with free stays and cash. This absolute mad lad was checking into multiple hotels in a single day, when it takes me like an hour to be able to make a reservation on Booking.com. At this point, he should have started a new career as a professional complainer, with a bonus of Best Supporting Actor in a Hotel Drama. Eventually, the hotel staff caught on by sharing notes of Jiang's complaints that were suspiciously familiar. And who could blame them when the guy keeps showing up with a bag of bugs and a sack full of sticky condoms? You might start to wonder, maybe, just maybe, it isn't the hotel's fault. Jiang's creative streak is now over and he's facing charges for his interior design. $5,200 for his 63 hotels averages out to about $83 per scam, which honestly sounds pretty good when normally it's more expensive to eat the room temperature runny eggs for breakfast. So moral of the story, if you're going to scam a hotel, maybe switch up your tactics from time to time. Come on, get creative. It looks like a popular Swedish furniture company got wrapped up in something explosive recently. The Polish military, because Poland, was called in to collect anti-tank mines from an IKEA warehouse. So for a short time, you could have gotten a table with an unpronounceable name, meatballs, and enough firepower to take out a T-90. To absolutely no one's surprise, the general in charge of the operation, General, a pronounceable Polish name, has been fired after the military realized that they had misplaced over 1,000 tons of explosives and forgot to jot that one down in the incident report. Imagine how badly the forklift driver who moved these boxes must have shit his pants after learning what was in them. The Polish military can lose tank mines, and it's fine, but if I forget that I have a bottle of water in my carry-on luggage, God forbid. I think IKEA should have kept the mines and even included them with their instructions, because anyone who's tried to build a dresser from them knows how frustrating it is to be 4 hours in and figure out you messed something up from 2 hours ago. It makes me want to go outside and jump up and down on an anti-tank missile for funsies. China has been practicing for Dota 2 2025 in a way that none of us expected by cutting underwater internet cables. Apparently, their strategy is less about playing the game and more about keeping everyone else from playing it. With this strategy, last year's winner, Greece, doesn't stand a chance at all. According to some eagle-eyed journalists, they figured out that China's behind the whole thing because they found out that China patented the cable-cutting device. Genius, right? It's like Sherlock Holmes if Sherlock's main clue is the killer posting a selfie with the murder weapon online. I'm over here trying to get faster download speeds by closing out all unnecessary programs, only to realize that the real way to improve your speed is just to cut everyone else's connection. At the next family gathering, I'm not just going to be changing the Wi-Fi password to disconnect my relatives, but also cutting the internet cable that leads into my house. It looks like Wally needs to have his eyes checked. 8 people were arrested thanks to AI and a police whoopsie-daisy. While the AI misidentified the individuals, the police did absolutely no follow-up investigations, even taking the eyewitness statement of a security guard who wasn't even there. Another example of why you don't let ChatGPT do your homework. The US wants to ban cars made with Russian or Chinese parts. Now, anyone who's seen a car crash compilation can understand why Russian parts are being banned, since breathing on a lada could peel the paint off. But Chinese-made parts? Is Tesla just going to be a metal shell after this ban, or are we going to go back to AM radios and cassette tape decks? The Florida Department of Emergency Management just realized they overpaid $5.7 million to Trinity Healthcare Services due to a clerical error. And now they want it back. If you owe them $1, they'll send the IRS to your house like they're coming to collect a prize from a game show. But when they overpay $5.7 million to a healthcare company, it's like, it's fine, just get it back to us when you get a chance. No worries. If only the IRS would do this, or send me like a nice little note saying, hey, pay it back when you can, instead of, busting down my door or sending me a letter that's saying pay up, go to big boy jail, maybe we would come to more of an understanding. And the best part is, the whole mess was started when Trinity was helping with pandemic vaccination registrations. They were going door to door vaccinating people while someone was in the back office like, hey, let's throw in an extra couple of million and see if anyone notices. This year, when I do my taxes, I'm also going to be throwing in a couple of extra million and see if what happens. Everyone has that one annoying family member that believes everything that they read online. Well, imagine if one of them believed that they were in an online relationship with an A-list celebrity. A woman divorced her millionaire husband to be with Brad Pitt. Or at least who she thought was Brad Pitt. Turns out it was a fraudster using AI-generated photos to catfish her into believing that she was in an online relationship with the real deal. I mean, can you blame her? Who wouldn't want to give out their millionaire husband to be with a Hollywood heartthrob? Can you call me? But she figured it all out when she saw Brad Pitt in the headlines with Inez de Ramon, and I have no idea who that person is, and realized that she had been duped. And I'm just wondering, was the AI-generated Brad Pitt at least a good actor? The real drama is that the woman spent a half a year thinking that she was chatting with an A-list celebrity. And I mean, she's single now, but she got at least $830,000 out of it with one expensive online dating lesson. And that wraps up today's episode of Mockingbird News. If you enjoyed the chaos, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any other crazy stories, drop them down there in the comments below, and they might make it to our next video. Until next time, see ya.